Okay, we got enough to start the meeting. We got 3 regular members and Mel, since Linda is not here at this point in time, you're a voting member.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So at 7:30, we'll call the meeting to order. First item on our agenda tonight is the review of the previous minutes of the last meeting. And there's one modification I want to make, which Alice pointed out to me. I may have inadvertently have implied that the town owns the easement along the left-hand part of the property of the Sullender subdivision.
The southern end.
Right. Anyhow, that easement belongs to the Sunderlands, not to us. The commission, the easement is in favor of the Conservation Commission. They have the
Right, it
right.
hasn't been gifted, it's just the right of way.
Right, that's what it is. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was clear in the minutes.
John, there's another correction, and it related to the Sullender portion of the minutes where it talks about the requirement to go before the wetlands, and the minutes state the police department. I think what we meant to say was the fire department.
Fire department, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. That's my correction.
Okay,
Fire
good.
department instead of police department.
Right. For the Water Source Committee.
Exactly.
And we did get a reply from them this week. Any other corrections, modifications?
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as amended with the 2 corrections we just alluded to.
I'll second.
We got a second from Renee. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next on our agenda is old business. Oh, we don't do the public hearing for another 15 minutes. The public hearing was scheduled for 7:45, right, Gene?
7:45.
7:45. So in that case, why don't we move on to minutes of other boards and commissions?
Motion to amend the agenda to move on to the item concerning minutes of other commissions.
Okay, hang on. And the first one is the Board of...
Need a second on the motion?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Second on the
second. We got the second. Renee is giving the second. Somebody else could join us? No? Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Board of Selectmen's minutes of November 2nd. The couple things came out on that. One of them is there was a presentation by the Center School Ad Hoc Committee. They gave a final report. And the committee recommended that the majority of the former Center School house a new Brookfield Library, the Parks and Recs Department within the remaining space, provide use for the town departments and commissions, community organizations, and local residents, relocating Board of Education offices to the vacated library facility, and engage design professionals as noted in the report. At the conclusion of the discussions, the selectmen noted it was the most complete and in-depth report they had seen and thanked the committee for their stunning work. The selectmen noted that the report was a good start to work on the construction costs as well as managing and addressing potential design criteria for the existing footprint or new building going forward in future budgets. Mr. Dombrowski, Community Development Specialist, noticed that regarding the need for office and storage space, and with the closing of St. Joseph's School, Deacon Howe joined the meeting to offer office and storage space for town operations. The entire lower floor of the school includes many classrooms, large multi-use rooms, bathrooms, outdoor play areas, parking, and other amenities that could be utilized while Center School is not in use. The church is interested in a longer-term tenant, but would consider any proposal for space needs. So stay tuned. Things in the town may be moving around.
John, I'm actually a member of that committee.
Okay.
Work to frame the report. It was very, very well received by the Board of Selectmen. We presented it on their November 5th meeting, and they were very appreciative of the
Yeah.
both the quality and the content of the report.
Very good. Like I said, it looks like things that we may want to incorporate in the future in our plan of development. Arts Commission sculpture also, they didn't approve the one that we all reviewed a few months ago.
Find a few more.
They suggested that the Arts Commission return with 2 or 3 possible new designs and continue to have conversations on the sculpture in the Pocket Park. Possibly start fundraising efforts. So stay tuned on the sculpture for the Pocket Park that's going to be in the Four Corners area. Also, the Coffee with the Community, which is scheduled for this weekend, is going to be a virtual meeting due to COVID-19.
Was Linda ever successful in getting in?
No, she's not going to make it.
Not going to make it. Okay. Well,
She texted Renee.
Yeah, apparently she
Trouble getting
had.
in. I'm having
so
trouble.
those are the outstanding items that I saw in the. Those are the outstanding items I saw at the Board of Selectmen's meetings. Anybody got any other comments on those minutes? If not, I'll move on to the next set of minutes that we have here. I'll move on to Zoning Board of Appeals minutes of the minute of November 9th. And I really don't have any comments on it because really what they did was they did their typical reviews of residential applications, which are usually not of our concern, and pretty much a business as usual meeting. Any comments on the zoning board of minutes of November 9th? If not, I'll move on. Then we have the meeting of November 12th for the zoning commission. Unfortunately, it's just motions, so it really don't have very much insight into what the minutes, what really went on at the meeting, just the motions that went on. I did go online today to see whether the minutes had been published, and they haven't been published. So hopefully our secretary can, at our next meeting, can give us complete minutes for the zoning commission meeting of November 12th. The motions are nice, but it really doesn't tell you what really is going on. We'll be talking about it later, and they did have an informal discussion about green initiatives on electric vehicles. We'll be talking about that later on in the meeting. We got, how many more minutes? We gotta wait. 7:45.
About 7 minutes, John.
7 minutes here. Okay. Then let's go to the minutes of, okay. Alice, when this is actually should have been placed into new business for us because we were asked to ask for some comments on this, if we had any questions or learn more. And it's listed under informal discussion. It really should have been put under new business.
The memo?
Yep, that memo.
Okay.
Okay, and the attachment, the 19-page attachment, which we had to print out today. I don't know if people have had time to take a look at it. We'll probably discuss it in more detail at our next meeting. But Greg Dombrowski has done a nice job of summarizing some of the activity on electric vehicles and the need for charging stations. Like I say, it's a 19-page report that he presented out to zoning recently.
Mr. Chairman?
Are you there? Yes.
No,
Yes.
Greg said that he would be more than happy to have a discussion with us.
Good, because I think the commission ought to hear it. because they're talking about getting a electrical charging station quarter along Route 7, possibly all the way down from the connecting much of the length all the way up to the Massachusetts border with charging stations. I mean, his report is very detailed. It talks about the cost of stations. There's several types of stations that go on. And, you know, in future years, electric vehicles may be the wave of the future. So one of the big drawbacks, as everybody knows, is everybody concerned about how far they can go and running out of juice. And the need for charging stations is paramount for successful implementation of it.
Well, one of the interesting things about this proposal is that there will be a lot of signage to indicate, let's say on I-84, that there's a charging station at Brookfield. So that's stuff that needs to be considered.
That's the big deal on it. We also had, as listed as an informal item, is final land use planning for wireless telecommunications task force by Westcog. When I linked onto it and found out, it's a 164-page document, so it's quite lengthy. I did not read the whole 164 pages of it. However, I did go through the chapter 7, which is conclusions and recommendations. And it looks like they are really concerned about the implementation of 5G and how that's going to go on. We've talked about 5Gs in previous meetings. And they have made some recommendations which look like they want to have a coordinated effort by towns in Washington, Connecticut to
That's nice.
have a unified stand to make the implementation of this form of telecommunication going. And part of that involves changing ordinances by zoning and making sure that there is some consistency going on completely in this area. The last item there is assemble a task force of appointed municipal staff, industry leaders, and Westcog staff to create a coordinated development strategy for a fifth generation cellular network implementation. So if you want, we can have this discussion next meeting also, but a 164-page document is kind of hard to dig into, and quite frankly, I was a little low on paper today. I didn't feel like killing my printer, so I didn't print it out. Maybe Alice, you could have a couple copies of this made by Town Hall.
Yeah, I'd like a copy.
Did you look at it, Bruce?
I have not reviewed it yet.
Oh, okay. Linda made it. Good evening, Linda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Good
We
evening.
got in.
Okay.
John, excuse me,
Yes.
would you like those two items then under old business next time?
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing that came in was the approval of the Planning Commission meeting dates. I don't know if you got a copy of it. I got my copy here, and obviously what we had talked about last meeting with one meeting in July and one meeting in December are reflected in the new meeting dates for next year. The last item on the informal discussion will hold off until the meeting. I see that it's a couple of minutes before quarter of. Why don't we do this? How many folks are here for the public hearing at quarter to 8? I see there's,
One,
okay, Lisa's iPad, Bill and Joe.
4 parties.
Okay. Okay, I see. And Susan Pandolfi.
5 parties.
And then obviously, the applicants are on.
Yeah.
Great. So, we go through a format here. Typically, we would be filling up town hall at this time when we do public hearings. This is one of the few that we have done on Zoom. It's new to us, so if we start tripling around a little bit, it's because it's not our usual format for holding a public hearing. Okay, let me first introduce the members of our commission right now that are joining us. I'm John Van Heist, Chairman of the commission. Bruce McDonald's our Vice Chairman. Linda Taylor is our Secretary. Rennie Santiago is a member. Mel Butlow is a alternate who's been appointed voting member tonight. Also in attendance is our Land Use Secretary, Gene Llewellyn, and he was here. He may be in and out. Ralph Tedesco, our engineer, was on. I don't know. I don't see.
I'm here,
his name.
John.
Oh, there he is. Ralph iPad. You still there, right?
I'm
Okay,
here.
good. Okay, so he's also our town engineer. So we're going to have a public hearing concerning the application of the proposed re-subdivision of 44 Obtuse Road South. This application was formally received by our commission on November 5th, 2020. The public hearing is only one aspect of the approval process and is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on this application and to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. Subsequent to this hearing, our commission has 65 days in which to render a decision on this proposal. The final decision may be in the form of approved as submitted, approved with stipulations, or denied. After reading into the record the correspondence received by the commission relative to this application, we will ask the applicant to present the application in detail. The presentation by the applicant will be limited to 45 minutes. The chair will then entertain questions for clarification concerning the applicant's presentation. We'll hear from those who wish and speak in favor of the application, followed by those who are opposed. Comments must be limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public will have one opportunity to speak during this segment. The commissioners may ask additional questions. The bylaws of the commission allow only name and address. Wait a second, I'm missing a line here. During this segment, the commission may add additional questions. The bylaws of the commission only allow for the presentation of similar positions in succession and preclude the intermixture of comments pro and con. I didn't write the script. It's one that's new to me. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair. As you are recognized, please state your name and address so that your comments may be legally recorded. Please be assured that everyone will be given an opportunity to speak. Doesn't look like there's too many folks here that you have to worry about. When you have a room of 50 people, that's a little more difficult. I think that's what this script was written for. However, the commission is most interested in hearing factual information relative to the application. And that's a very important point. We really don't want to hear things that are like, not in my backyard, please. Just give us the reasons, good reasons why you're in favor or not in favor. And in view of the time constraints placed upon us, we ask your indulgence in not reiterating comments previously presented. Okay? After the public comments are received, the applicant will have the opportunity to comment and the time will be limited to 10 minutes. Bruce, did you get, Linda, I don't know if you got a copy of the notice of public hearing? If you didn't, I'll read it for you because it should be read on the record right now.
Okay.
I'll read it. The Planning Commission of Brookfield, Connecticut will hold a public hearing at 7:45 remotely via Zoom on Thursday, November 19th on 44 Obtuse Road South, number PL-20-7, regarding re-subdivision. At this hearing, interested parties may appear to be heard and written comments will be received. Said notice is on file with the Brookfield Land Office. And then the Zoom instructions are here. So we will start the meeting. We did get a couple things come in on this application. I'll read them right in the record right now. We got a letter from the Inland Wetlands Commission, which states, the Inland Wetlands Commission discussed the application for a judicial ruling above, which is, they're talking about the re-subdivision of 44 Obtuse Road South. At their meeting on November 9th, they made the following motion. Motion to approve 44 Obtuse Road South, number W-20-42, based on a plan by CCA dated October 30, 2020, noting that this is a judicial ruling with no disturbed wetlands and no activity is planned in the upland review area. David Frankel seconded, and the motion carried unanimously. So they have wetlands approval. And we also got a letter from Andy Ellis of the fire department. We reviewed the plan for the above address. Fire department has no issue with the plan as presented. So those are the correspondence that we've received so far. So I'm going to turn it over to our applicants, Eric and Logan. Would you like to talk about your subdivision?
Sure. Good evening. It's
Hi.
nice to see everyone again.
Good evening, everyone.
So we are Logan and Eric Sullender. We've lived here in Brookfield for about 11 years on Apache Drive, so we're actually just down the road from the property. And we purchased this property looking to split it so that we will put on a 5-bedroom house for us and for our 3 kids, and then a 3-bedroom house for my parents. The split would be about 3.5 acres for my parents, excuse me, and about 19 acres for where we would put our house. We think this is one of the most beautiful pieces of land that we have seen, and our goal is to disturb as little of it as possible. So as we walked the land to figure out where we wanted to put the houses, we really decided to keep them closer towards the front of the property, a little bit closer to Obtuse Road South, although you probably won't see them that much from Obtuse Road South, so that we could really maintain the rest of the property as it is for the most part. Our plan is to use the shared driveway that's already there. We would just continue that to reach both houses. And our plan would be to build next year, hopefully starting in the spring and completing by the fall. Want to add anything else?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we'll take the full 45 minutes. So,
That's a shortened version of 45 minutes, that's for sure.
yeah.
Commission members, any questions at this point? I have one for Ralph. Ralph, is there a need for bonding on this project?
I don't believe there will be. I did speak to the surveyor, Paul Hyro, who told me the work is complete. I have not verified that, but I did ask him for a letter for the file and a map. And once I receive that, I believe we could waive the bond, but I have not received that yet, although I have talked to Paul.
Okay, and that's all the bonding you would need?
That's correct.
Okay. Nothing for the wetlands, didn't put any stipulations on bonding for you, did they?
No, there's not going to be any town, getting back to the DPW side, there's not going to be any town roads or anything like that. So as far as the town side, we wouldn't need anything. As far as wetlands, I can't answer to that.
Okay, Bruce and Renee were doing the checklist. Have you guys got any comments or any questions for the applicant?
Oh, this week got away from me. I didn't get a chance to get anything scheduled with Renee, but hopefully tomorrow I can get to it or Monday. I did see a document where I guess the land use office had begun the checklist. So a significant number of the required documents have already been identified on the subdivision application as being signed off, but I'll get with Renee either tomorrow or Monday and we'll get the checklist done.
Okay, fine. I think we're ready for public comments. All those who would like to speak in favor of this application, please step forward. Looks like Lisa's iPad.
I don't know how to revise that. The name is Lisa Green, purchaser from Robert D. and Luann Greer just about 2 weeks ago on October 30th. And my support is offer, excuse me, were you saying something? It would be 34A, Obtuse Road South.
Okay, fine. We needed that for the record. I'm
I
sorry.
am between the Mulvaneys and the Lopes, I guess. My support is offered in exchange for measures I hope would be taken that can enhance my future quality of life, for which I bargained and closed upon the new house. I had no idea that this was going on. And since the only neighborly thing to do is to support one's neighbors as they're trying to enhance their own quality of life, I have just a few asks with respect to the contractors and agents and various visitors to the job sites, and the fact that I have not seen on the plans an actual location of a Quonset hut that is quite visible from my backyard, and voices heard from my kitchen, my office, my master bathroom. So I was wondering, at the size of this lot, if there was any chance maybe that could be moved further, because as recent as a month ago, it's easily heard. And this was not construction beginning yet. It was just people having a conversation that close to my rock wall. Other than that, they're kind of specifics as far as hours and no weekends, those things I'm sure you don't want me to get into at this time. And litter, debris that blows over, like if I see cigarette butts, that would upset me, that kind of thing. The usual measures that people take if they've heard from their neighbors that adjoin them, like if the Mulvaneys and the Lopes and I were all together, we might have the same issues as far as, oh, don't take down any trees or grade any land in our sight lines. And it sounds like with all the environmental, sensitivity that the Sullenders have, they're already cognizant of, what they're trying, what they know everybody around them wants from the view. So it's the noise and the hours. I would step in and say, if I could give more detailed comment, that's what I would do, but I totally support them in their application. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, we'll ask them, we'll give them a chance to comment on your concerns. Anybody else have comments, favorable or unfavorable?
Favorable.
Mr. Lopes. Okay.
Favorable. So we live next to Lisa, and
State your name and address.
oh, sorry, Victor Lopes, 42 Obtuse Road South. So we abut the property, and we just want to say we're supportive. We've been there now 7 or 8 years, I guess. Hard to keep track. So we're happy to see a good family moving in, and they have nice plans for the property. So we're supportive.
Okay. Anyone else have a comments, pro or con? That's it? That's all? Okay. Everybody else is just interested in listening. to
Hello?
what's going on, I guess.
Nope, speaking up.
Bill and Joe?
Yes,
Bill.
hi, Bill Gorman,
Yeah, go ahead.
40 Obtuse Road.
So?
First, I'd like to welcome Eric and Logan. Congratulations on the property. I have seen the plans, and my only concern, I'm not pro or against, my only concern is the house on the 3.5 acres is close to that ridge line. And if it is going to go in that location, to please put a line of evergreens in, so it'll block the view from our backyard.
Okay. Any other comments on this before I ask the Sullenders to take their 10 minutes to respond to the concerns of their neighbors. I guess you're on again, Eric and Leo.
I have a question.
What?
Here's a question. Isn't that sound ambitious that you could start in spring and end by fall to build 2 houses of quality? That sounds really ambitious.
The only comment I will make is, depends on the contractor. I saw a gravel pit in Bethel turn into a beautiful 40-house Toll Brothers
Yeah.
project in less than 6 months. So they're talking only 2 houses, so.
You
I'll let
must
them
know
answer.
people.
I'll let them answer. Go ahead, Eric and Lauren.
So on the, Lisa, on your comments regarding the noise and the, we would obviously make sure anyone's working for us follows any noise ordinances and starts at appropriate times and is cognizant of the neighbors and the surrounding, the people surrounding the area. That what is there is a temporary garage that's used to house a tractor that was purchased with the property that we use for mowing the lawn and keeping the grass down. So just to keep that out of the rain and snow, we put that up. I think the placement of the houses are pretty well situated that, just looking at a map, it's that what you see there is definitely further back. And I think once the houses are constructed and we have, a garage or something else to put it in, we'll move things. Regarding the visibility, I guess, sorry, trying to think back through questions.
So regarding the question, Bill and Joanne, about the ridge line there, I know my parents do plan on putting in evergreens there. I know everybody values their privacy and they would like to put in some evergreens as well to help with that view.
Terrific.
Yeah, I believe he mentioned that to us on the walk that we had.
He
here.
did.
He did mention.
He
it,
did.
Tony.
Yep.
Yeah, and as far as an aggressive timeline, I mean, we're optimistic. We know it might be next Christmas being the soonest that we get in there if we're lucky. But we're hoping that doing both in parallel will help just make it overall more efficient. With the foundations and the framing and stuff like that. So
And minimize disruption as much as possible too. So if we can do a lot of the work at the same time, it will minimize noise and disruption as well to the neighbors. So we're trying to work a lot on planning over this winter so that we can get things lined up, that as soon as the ground is soft enough to work, that we could begin to work, and some of it will be pending permits. I know our engineers had put that in the plans as well. But that's our goal. We'd love to be in before the kids start school in September. If it's not possible, it'll hopefully be shortly thereafter.
Okay.
I have a question. I noticed even our coming out of the shared driveway at 34A and B, it's a very tight turn on a 2-lane road, and you're having construction vehicles go in and out of like that beautiful pillared gate. I mean, isn't that it's going to be a little awkward to have construction vehicles going in and out, or you don't expect it to be major equipment size things that you're using? I'm not saying it's going to impact us. I'm just curious about it's probably not an appropriate question, but it's very tight turns on that road.
Can we answer that one, Mr. Van Hees?
Go ahead.
We needed to dig some deep holes for the perk tests that we had to do for the land. And there is a massive sized piece of equipment there, I'm not even sure what to call it, that's on the property that they used to dig those holes. And that was able to get
Excavator.
fire trucks. There have been fire trucks that had to get called onto the property a couple of years ago just from some smoldering mulch piles. They got through it. So it's looks tight, but there have been large trucks that have gotten through so far without any problems.
It's a beautiful gate.
Yes.
One of the reasons why we asked the fire department for comments, because our concern is the vehicles that the fire department has, can they get up there easily when have any problems or have any concerns?
Turning radius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a comment, John, if there was a problem with construction vehicles, they could have some type of temporary construction entrance, just for the purposes of construction and then revert back to the driveway later.
That's true. You're right.
There
Larry.
is a, there on the northern side of the property, there's a split rail fence, but there is a gate in the fence that connects to the Ferry's property, and they've given us permission to use that if we need to, if something can't get through the obtuse roadside gate that we referred to, so
Okay.
that's another option for us.
Good.
Any other questions, concerns? Bruce, you're going to be ready next meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Then why don't we extend the public hearing to next meeting? And then we can close it out at that meeting, maybe, unless there are concerns that drag on. We got 65 days to do this. So why don't you make a motion to extend the meeting, the public hearing to next meeting? We'll continue it.
Motion to continue the public hearing on application PL-20-7 to our next meeting.
I second.
We got a second? All those in favor?
The time,
Oh, I'm sorry, time. We need time, Bruce. 7:45?
At 7:45 PM.
Okay.
Actually, John, if I could chime in, I spoke with Tom Beecher about the times
Go
for
ahead.
public hearings, and he stated that it would be best not to put down times, that they can start anytime you would like them to.
Oh, great. But normally, when the thing is put on the, I thought the 7:40, when we put times, I thought that was for the benefit of the public so they could join.
I guess it is somewhat helpful for them, but he said that there's no real reason that you would have to do that.
No requirement to do so.
Right.
Well, for the benefit of those folks who are listening, we're going to try to start between 7:30 and 7:45. All right? You don't need the time frame, I guess, Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have an approval, right? Did everybody vote on this yet?
Not yet.
Did we vote? Gene, did you get the vote? We got the vote. Okay. Okay. I guess we're done. Public hearing will be continued at your next week. We'll see you guys on.
third,
I have a calendar here, but I can't see it.
December 3rd, I think.
December 3rd, right.
Thursday, the 3rd.
Thursday the 3rd. And at this point in time, Bruce and Rennie are going to be going through the checklist, make sure everything's okay, and hopefully that no new issues come up. It looks like some of the major hurdles that you have, which is fire department and wetlands, have been resolved. So we'll see how it goes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your attendance.
Participating. We do appreciate it. And we'll return to our regular meeting.
All right.
right,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Have a good night.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Let me find my agenda. Here's my agenda. We went through all the items on informal discussion except for one, which is the resignation of Paul Barber. He says he has some pressing issues with his family and he feels it not fair for him to continue on holding the seat like he has. I don't know if you guys got a chance to read the bylaws of our commission, and how what we do when there is a vacancy. It's on the first page of the bylaws, article number 3, vacancies. And it says, in the event of a vacancy, what vacancy occurs in the commission, it will be filled by the commission for the unexpired portion of the term of the vacated member. In the event the commission fails to fill the vacancy within 60 days, the Board of Selectmen may fill such vacancy. So we have a choice to make. Do we want us to do it, or do you want the Board of Selectmen to do it? If we're going to do it, then I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4 members. And I would like to hear from the 4 members where they would like to go. If they would like to nominate. Normally, we typically take one of our alternates, although that isn't always the case. We have also taken past members of the commission as members.
What?
Like, they got voted out, or they had periods of time where they felt it was necessary to resign, and then they came back on. So it's up to us, or we let the Board of Selectmen do it. How do you guys want to handle this?
We should decide.
Okay. Good.
Motion to
Absolutely.
move into consideration the name of Alan Walp, alternate Alan Walp, for consideration of appointment to the Board of the Planning Commission.
Any other nominations for this? And then I'd like to put up Mel's name, because I think Mel has been on this commission, has been alternate longer than any other folks, even though he's not of my party. One of the big issues we had in the past, and I think Gene remembers it well, is we had a member who, the commission at that time was decidedly Republican. We had a Democratic alternate who had been on it for years, who I thought deserved the position. The vote was party line. So somebody who was on shorter period of time got the position. It so infuriated that person, who was a longtime member and a very good contributor. They quit. They left the commission because of that. They later became selectmen. So just to let you know, things don't always work the way you want them to work. So I support Mel because he's been here a long time. He's always been contributing and working on it. He's been the longest member of the alternates. So that's
John, point of clarification.
Yeah.
Is the Planning Commission one of the Brookfield boards that are subject to the requirement that the parties be balanced
No,
for their membership?
there has to be a minority member, period.
Okay, so there's no requirement to replace a Democrat with a Democrat, or could be unaffiliated Republicans.
No, there's no requirement on that at all.
That's purely on a competency and qualification issue,
No,
not a requirement like, some boards, like Board of Selectmen, Board of Education, Board of Finance, you can have a guy win the election, but because of party balance rules, he won't be seated. And
It's not that here.
no,
Okay. No, I just
It's not
wanted
that
to-
way.
no, it's not that way. As long as the minority member is there, okay?
Yeah.
So at this point in time, that's not an issue.
Okay. I
Like that.
just want a clarification. Thank you.
No, I'm just looking at service and who's been
Yeah,
there for a
absolutely.
while. I mean, it's just, the man's been waiting in the wings for quite a long time, longer than Alan has and longer than George has. So that's where I come from. And he's been a solid
I appreciate
contributor all the time he was here. So,
I'd like to second Mel.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. So we got, if we're going to vote for people, okay, or do we want to consider it and have an election at a later date? We have 2 candidates right now. You guys are really killing me.
You want to give consideration over the next 2 weeks and call
Yeah,
for
that's what I'm
schedule a
saying.
vote on December
That, or
3rd
you
meeting?
want to wait, or you want to do it tonight?
Yeah, motion to defer the election of a replacement till the December 3rd meeting.
Is there a second? Rennie, seconds. Okay, so we've got 2 candidates. There's a possible third. George might want to come back. I haven't heard from Dave yet.
Oh, you will. You probably will.
Oh, now you will.
He's probably listening as we speak.
Okay, we have two candidates. There's only 4 people who can vote, so if it comes out 2-2, I don't know. Those 2 guys are gonna have to flip a coin or something. I don't know.
How do you break the tie, John?
That's a good question. I don't know how to break the tie. Then we say we're deadlocked, and then they'll probably have to go to the board of
Anyway.
selectmen.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I
You
can't
could
break
probably
it.
even go to attendance record for a tiebreaker.
I'm sorry?
Maybe you can go to attendance record as a tiebreaker, possibility of a tiebreaker.
Yeah, well, that's another way to do it, but I don't know. You're almost putting us into the seat of Solomon on this one. And both candidates are very quality candidates. So
Qualified.
I agree.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
No wrong. There's no wrong answer.
no, there isn't. Okay, there was a second on that. All those in favor of deferring the election of the new member until next meeting, say aye.
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 Okay.
Do I
Mel,
abstain?
maybe you could, play, paper, scissors, rock, whatever with Alan.
As long as it's not fisticuffs.
I expect some campaigning to be done.
Either that, or I get a pair of dice and I'll let you call out the number.
Well,
Anyhow,
That could be done.
good-
That would
good to
be
have
fair.
quality candidates.
Absolutely.
Any other items for informal discussion? I don't have any at this point. Plan of conservation and development, things are working in the background, and we'll probably have to start redoing it, but some of these start coming true, like the library moving over to the center school, et cetera.
Wow.
We may have to start updating our plan because our plan doesn't reflect things like that. So that's all I got to say. I think it's time for Linda, I think.
Okay.
Motion
I-
to adjourn.
Sorry, just one other thing that's on there is,
What?
Document-
Wait,
wait, we have something.
go ahead.
You guys didn't discuss the documents that were received after publication.
We
I don't
didn't
know
get
if you
any.
saw this.
We didn't get any documents.
Get any?
Other were in documents.
Okay, we had to add it at the very last minute, but one was the site walk and the other was I-84 project email from Greg Dombowski. Should we just put those on the next?
Put them on the next because we didn't get them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to
Sorry.
adjourn.
No, we got Linda making the motion. She already made it. I
I
heard
know.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Linda already made a motion.
Second.
I did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Enjoy Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you
Be
all.
healthy, stay well.
Happy
You too.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank
And
you.
don't
Thank
go
you.
out of state because you may not get back in.
Yeah. As Alice, right?
Take care. Have a good one.